we are still waiting for a few more people to join. Give us a couple more minutes, please. Thanks.
Hi, this is Monica Join.
Hi, Monica. Hi. Are you able to see my screen? Shared one.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Those who are not talking, please go on mute. When you have a question or you need to interact with me, so you can unmute yourself and talk. You pass it down. Wait. Okay, so for those who don't know me, I'm Prabhakar Venugopal. I'm part of NCCA team. I'm managing one of the Scrum team, and I joined CSC last year, so April, right, last year, and overall experience is 15 years, 15 plus. I've been with HCL for more than 13 years after I joined CSC. I I'm into I'm into traditional and agile project management, and also I manage service delivery management, like production support teams as well. And RPA is in last year I started learning about it. So last year I started learning about this because like one of my friend was actually doing this UI path training, and he was visiting my home, and he was talking about this part. Like out of that visit, half an hour he was talking about this robotic process automation. So I was keep hearing that. I got attracted that time itself. So he gave me a session, I mean personal session, and where I went with Suamata. So at that time I started this RPA, learning about RPA and what tools I can learn is the UiPath. UiPath is a very good tool. So we are not going to see about UiPath today, but overall robotic process automation. So what is it about? Any expectation from you of this training? Anybody? What do you? I mean, what you are thinking that it will be covered in this session?
Prabhakar, Shiva here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for volunteering this and organizing this training. Much appreciated, Prabhakar. This is a buzzword today in the industry. So we are very much delighted and excited to learn. So my one expectation is how different is RPA against this the functional testing tools like Selenium or the QTPS trial or today's date UFD. So how is this different? So that is one question is unanswered. I didn't explore much, so I thought that you would clarify that.
Okay. Sure. So looks like Shiva knows a bit about automation. I think automation is something not new for us, right? Everyone knows this, right? So what is automation? I want this session to be interactive, okay? So I don't want alone to be talking, okay? So what is I mean, automation? Everyone knows it's not a new word, right? Automation is there. Yeah. Is it? Hey, can you go on mute if you're not talking, please? Thanks. Okay. So, so most of I heard like manual tasks, repetitive tasks, right? So automation we have done in our day-to-day work. So something which is like repetitive, manual intervention is required where I don't want to do this job like repeatedly, right? So those repetitive tasks we usually automate. So we do this automation like those who work in like even Microsoft Excel, we do macros, right? Macros also an automation kind of thing. Not a complete automation, but using macro also you can do some automation, right? So okay, so from this classroom, so any expectation from anyone? I mean, no. Anybody heard about this RPA robotic process automation before? Raise your hands. No. All right. Good. Okay. So let's start. I mean, so again, this session should be interactive, so we can learn each other, right? I mean, I'll be giving whatever I learned. So actually, I'm expecting more from you also, so I can learn as well. Okay. So I'm in the first slide. Um, okay. So the agenda or the contents we'll be covering is that the introduction of RPA. Um, Success of RPA mainly relies on some certain attributes. We'll discuss about that. And so where and all, which areas we can do an RPA automation. So those implementation areas, we can discuss that. The value of RPA, the current world. And because we are working in the insurance domain, um, we will talk about which process areas we can automate or insurance companies in US and UK, they have already started doing this. Like they are like 3 years, 4 years old now into this. They call it insurance process automation. We'll talk about that as well. And types of RPA and the tools in market and any question and answer. Does it sound good? Yes. Okay. We'll move to the next one, which is the introduction to RPA. So the RPA, right? Is like so we talked about automation in the sense like a macro. Macro is a simple automation, but this RPA, robotic process automation, is that it uses the enterprise applications what we support or what we work, right? Like case profile, or I can only talk about case profile, time pack. So those are like enterprise applications, whether it is back office used or front office used. or a retail application, how a user will perform that, right? So I will just click on the button and I'll go to login page, give my credentials, and then go to a main page. From there, I click a menu, navigate through, get some inputs. I mean, give some inputs, extract some outputs. So those are manual tests. So this RPA tools, right? Various tools are there, will actually behave exactly the same way how the manual or a man or a human will do. Okay. So it says like where it drives an existing interface application software the same way as a user does. Okay. Right. Okay. So in other words, if you see RPA is a tool or a platform that operates other application software to its existing interface. Like what we talk about interface is the various screens of your own application, maybe a mainframe application, maybe a Java developed, VB developed, anything. It's an interface, right? So how I will or you will actually interact to that screen. This RPA will interact in the same way. Okay. So far with me. Right. Again, it's an emerging technology. So though I said it's 5 years old, the automation is there forever, but this RPA tools as such is actually only evolving in the last 3 years, maybe 2 years. It's very new to the IT industry or insurance or banking industry and the call center. So 3 major industries uses this RPA, okay, intensively. So wherever the tasks are, manual, you can see that transactional, administrative tasks. So you can think about any industry which is highly in administrative tasks, right? Call center. Okay, call center, we have seen the IVRs. I mean, IVRs is more than 15 years old or 20 years old even. So using the IVR, so IVR everyone knows? Everyone knows, right? So this RPA tool can be an additional tool to an IVR. Okay, so IVR is what we hear and what we choose option. Right? Press one to do, press one this. Like it just goes forever, right? But in the background, a lot of things happening. RPA tools can do wonders in the background. Okay, so wherever the administrative tasks are intense, and you see, it works best when it is rule based. So rule based in the sense, like I will open a screen, I will log in, I will first thing I will do is I will go and check the dashboard. Okay, and in the dashboard, if I have any task, I will click on one of the tasks and go to that task and perform the task, close the task, come back. So those are repetitive tasks. Okay, so if you think about who will do this, like in IT, right? We will not. So there, I will come and look at it, and if any message pops up, I will just immediately switch to that. I mean, in an IT world, right? Is what we do, right? It is not. It is tough to implement RPA, but if you are going to perform a specific set of activities, as it was mentioned to you, like a call center guy, right? So you like it or not, they will go through all the 10 questionnaires to you, right? They will not stop. Like, are you liking it or not? Are you in the call or not? Right? They will just continue. So that's a repetitive task. That is they are the programmed humans, right? So they will repeat whatever is being told or programmed on them. They have the protocol. They will follow the protocol. Okay. So even in the third question, if you say I'm not interested, then there is another protocol how to tackle you. Okay. So those are rule based. See what I mean? Okay. So those repetitive tasks we can use RPA. So again, don't restrict yourself only to call center or anything. It's I mean, the area is very huge or vast. So just a simple example, right? So what we talked about so far is that, let's say you see this process done manually where a bunch of a team or human beings interacting with one application, maybe a Windows. Second one is a mainframe. The third one is some simple Excel tool or a email, right? So what we do normally, like in our NCCA, right? So we work on various applications like front end and talk about test plan setup end to end. You start from Salesforce, creating an opportunity, right? So from there it goes through all the way to Zeus and Phoenix. So as a developer or as a user interface user, what you will do, you will just log into one application and take some data. Obviously, do take some data and go to application two, right? And maybe application two, maybe some more steps added, and then it produces some report. Take that, and maybe you can give it to someone. So this is a simple example, right? What the software robot is doing is, it actually, like we talked about, right? It just replicates what human beings do. So this is like, I can recreate a robot so they can actually, I mean, there is another talk. I mean, though you heard about it or not, I'll talk about it. Like all these software robots, will it replace us? That will be a question, right? We can talk about it maybe in the Q&A session. Right. So this is an introduction to RPA. So any questions in this so far? No. It can perform the background also. If I don't have any user interface, I can simply extract
testing automation.
Yes. Testing automation you can use in the interface. If you want to perform like some operations in the background, right? From Reuters you are getting rates in a raw format every day, or you need to get the response from a REST service or a JSON service, right? And you don't have a tool for that. You can use this. You can hit directly the web service or an existing Excel. You can extract it and you can do whatever you want. Okay. Yes, it can. It can perform ETL also. Yes. Okay. Right. So now we'll talk about the success of RPA. Success of RPA mainly relies on key, like key items, right? So those are like you will keep hearing this manual, structured, repetitive, right? Huge, robust. So those are the buzzwords, right? So if your day-to-day work involves any of this, you can use RPA. Okay? So wherever we follow the more structured or holistic approach, where we were talking about the call center, right? It's a fixed protocol. Wherever it is followed, we can use it. So if you implement RPA in those areas, we'll be successful. Though it will be like we need to evolve it, right? So day one, if you implement an RPA solution, it will not be working 100% perfect, but it can evolve as well. There may be some failures in the robo it works. So those are handled in the tools. So when we are talking about the tools, we will discuss that also. Okay. Okay. So another factor is that you need to take a lot of time to do first we need to do a case study. Everyone knows what is case study is, right? You take a simple scenario and you do a case study on it. What is that you are doing? Okay. You think from a third eye perspective, that what is that you are doing, and where and all I can go wrong, where and all I can go right. So those are the areas where you need to spend a lot of time in analyzing those specific areas in deep. Okay, as for example, right? For us, business users are there, right? Like BAs, right? Onshore. I mean, what I mean onshore is that the guardian employees who uses our application, like client packs or case profile. So we need to understand what they do on daily basis. Okay, to perform what they are doing to perform. I mean, use this application. Like any keystrokes they are using, keystroke level we call it. Like in RPA case study, we call it like keystroke level. That means if they are using some shortcuts to go from one screen to another screen. Why it is required is that also we need to automate it, right? So any keystroke they are pressing, or when they are actually how they are navigating from one screen to another, Alt tab or any tab, keystroke level. So that is just the basics, right? But you need to understand the business level also, business logic also. If I am going to sit with the business user, right? You need to have a business knowledge also to perform this, or you can have a business analyst joining you to perform the case study. If you are technically good, if you are a certified developer, RPA developer, you can become a RPA architect also, right? If you know domain, if you know insurance domain, clients area, and RPA tool, you don't have to like rely on another person, because when the business users are talking, you will it will make sense to you, and you can actually implement it rather quickly, right? So you need to understand the nature of task people are performing. Okay, so yeah, so this is what you talked about, right? So analyze the process characters to identify which of those tasks are more repetitive, manually intensive, and rule based. What is rule based? Can anyone tell me? What is rule based? Yeah, so like a workflow, right? Workflow. So Simon is actually a rule based one, right? So it is rule based in the sense like again I'll go back to the call center one. So fourth question, three options are there. So if you press one, there will be another flow. Two, there is another flow. Three, they may be directing back to a manager or so those are the rule based ones. That is rule based. So even the manual repetitive tasks also rule based. You cannot have a person doing A B C every time. There may be A B D, A B C D. So those are the things, right? Those are but they are defined protocol they call it, right? So if that is defined, you can implement RPA successfully. Yes, yes, we can do that. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's what. Again, if you are using an interface, right? If error comes, what do you do? So again, that logic also you need to implement it in RPA to be successful. No, unknown errors also you can handle. You can do try catch, right? How you do try catch in Java or .NET, you can do that. Yeah, yeah. I'll come to that. Yeah. Okay, so we need to identify the suitable candidates for automation. If you are barking on the wrong tree, you will not be able to automate anything. You need to choose a correct automation. It's not like your manager says or someone says that do it, don't do it. Just analyze it. Just do a case study. If you have not done a case study, just download some of the case study on the RPA and try to do a similar one, simulate one for yourself. So all of us are using at least one application on a daily basis. Do a case study on that, right? Then identify those areas. Areas can be automated. Okay, moving on. Right. So again, RPA is easy to implement. The operations are more mature, higher in volume. Because higher in volume, because we don't want to automate something which is not happening in like often, right? Daily basis, I should be spending minimum 5 to 6 hours. Then only there is a mean to automate it. If I'm just performing one of tasks, I don't need to automate it. Just move away. So remember we talked about the choose the right process. This is the one. Higher volume, right? Where you spend more time in it. Higher volume, lower complexity. Complexity level right now in tools. I mean, in the market, we are talking about lower complexity, but RPA is moving towards artificial intelligence also, and also like data sciences. How everyone heard about IBM Watson? IBM Watson? Yeah. So it's an AI tool, right? So RPA is moving towards that. So how I can implement the AI tool, like Google Analytics. So those implementation also started coming in the newer versions. Okay? So now we talk about lower complexity, but medium level and higher level also is possible. Structured data inputs. So input what we are giving should be structured, right? So that means either it has to be an XML, JSON, or a CSV, right? Now again, what we talked about AI, right? Unstructured data handling. Unstructured data handling is the next thing, like big data. It is also possible now in RPA tools. So we'll talk about the tools in detail. I mean, not in detail, like an introduction, but which tool does what, I can tell you. There are some studies also done in the market. I will show you that also. So where RPA is not easy to implement, right? It's just an opposite of these, right? Where it is less matured, it is like volatile process. I don't have any process or a protocol. I don't know what to do. Like I will just let my people decide what to do on a situation. Those it's no. Okay. Unstructured data inputs is a no there, but it is coming. I mean, becoming possible now. It's again a very like beginner level. I think down the line, like 5 years, we can do this unstructured data input there, so it is easy to implement. Okay. Are you getting bored? Or people on the call, are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are able to follow.
All right.
We are able to.
Okay. So moving on, value of RPA. Right. Someone talked about what is the knowledge I need. You don't need it. You don't need to have any like the coding knowledge. Less, not I will not say any, but less knowledge. Less knowledge in the sense like you can be a Java developer or a senior developer or a .NET or a mainframe or a Python or a Unix, whatever. RPA requires a little bit of programming knowledge. Everyone knows C++, right? So if conditions, switch cases, those kinds of programming language like object-oriented programming. So if you know that, you can write programs. Have you tried macro VBAs? Yeah, we have, right? So macro VBA, though it is simple, we can do intensive server-side programming also using VBA. VB script, Visual Basic. Okay, so if I know VB, I can do VB script. I can do VB.NET as well. So if you know Java or C++ even, you can do Java. If you know mainframe, you can rely on some of the tools available free in the market to convert your ideas to a code which is RPA required. Right? So some of the tools are there which does not require any knowledge. But now you all know TIBCO, so it is easy for you. Okay, so less technical knowledge and can be done faster. And now, so this is an interesting thing. Like, so think about like I have actually developed. We talked about a business user using an interface where I have identified. Think about this. Like I have done a case study. I have identified a process which I can automate. I have automated it. Right? It is successfully running. For example, a daily basis, a business user comes in and logs in and looks at the dashboard and find out those are actually outstanding for more than 10 days. They will perform some action and move those action to some folder. This is the repetitive task they do. Okay, so this process you identified and automated. Now, a business user wants to change the 10 days to 5 days. A simple example, right? I want to see only 5 days. So far, I have cleared up all the backlogs for 10 days. Now I need to see only 5 days. So now this 5 days is a simple tweak with the automation which you did, right? So that again you can give back to the business themselves, maybe an interface, maybe an Excel sheet, maybe a database oriented, whatever you call it. So give back to them for tweaking some of your software robots. The way it runs, you can tweak it. That's called business managed left shift robots. Though it's a front office, we'll talk about it. What are the types of robots? But you can do that as well. Okay, so and this is becoming a hit because why because the business users are now thinking that they are controlling the robots, right? It's not robo is something software robo, right? We are talking about software robo, not some hardware robo sitting next to them. It's a software robo, okay? So business users will now think that, okay, I can control the robo now. Let me perform better than robo. So they are not losing their job fast, right? And they don't have to do the repetitive tasks, and they can also control the robo. So this is a big hit with the RPA industry now. Okay, so whoever is smart enough, they can do this and perform their activities along with robo. Okay, and of course, we can avoid the manual errors, right? If it is manual intensive, you can actually avoid them. RPA can also improve the data quality, and since the input errors made by people go away, right? If I'm making some mistake, if I know tool is actually performing a way to perform, I can just do it in the back door, right? Without anyone noticing it. But Robo can still log that also. So you talked about Gautam, like how we can actually, do like unknown things, right? You can handle that. If I'm giving ABC input, and when I'm trying to give C input, if an application behaves abnormally, we can record that, and you can do analytics on top of it, right? Yeah. So we talked about that now. So greater logging and auditing. How the screen performs. Like you remember, we always do the performance. What do you call it? Performance load balancing. We do, right? Performance testing in an application, especially the web-based applications. We do performance testing, right? So that you can do, and you can do auditing as well. Like how a simple page behaves, like hundreds of users coming in at the same time. So we talk about load runner, wind runner, right? That also you can do. Just create one software robo and replicate it. One robo, just deploy it in multiple machines. They call it not robot, bot. They call it bot, BOT, bot. In Blue Prism, there is a tool called Blue Prism. We call it bot, BOT. Okay, so this is like insurance process automation. So these are the areas the insurance companies are already moving in. Some of the areas we are already working on, right? Underwriting, pricing, we are touching that. So I don't want to read everything, but right from the sales till the settlement, it is mainly covering US and Euro market. So again, if you talk about any topic, it will be rule based. If you see this policy and admin servicing, how you reject or cancel a policy if a payment has not been made within 21 days. Okay. So you can think about this. Why can't I implement this in the you may have a question on that, right? So all these, right? Reject or cancel a payment if I'm talking about the policy admin and servicing. Right? Second one. If the payment has not been made within 21 days, right? I can write my program or enhance my program itself just to cancel. Why I need a robot? Yeah? If you have a legacy system, okay, and rule-based one, where that rule-based should be performed by a business analyst, okay, by looking at 10 different systems, not just one system. You cannot simply reject a payment, right? Policy payment is we need to consider a lot of things. So the lot of things are not in single system; it is in multiple systems. Because insurance is there for like 35 years, right? So they have developed in old like legacy systems. So I cannot invest in integrating everything now. Rather, I will invest in these areas so I can actually eliminate these. Like I don't have to invest in people like who are knowing the old technology, legacy technology, who are not willing to learn. I can just replace them with the software room. Yes. Yes. Somewhere, sorry. No, not we cannot. But if you have a project already created, project will obviously run, right? But yeah, so those are the process areas which we cannot create a case study out of it because they will simply say that it is already a project running on. Where you have successfully automated or integrated with two systems, you don't have to think about this. Still, you can if the integration layer itself that will be another application, right? That you can actually eliminate just with one process automation. You can do that. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so types of RPA, whether it is a customer based or company based. What is customer based? What is customer based? customer base, company base. We can talk about from our context itself. Guardian. For us, Guardian is who? Customer or company? Guardian is a customer for us. So I mean, we are think about like we are partners to Guardian, right? Okay, let's talk from the Guardian's perspective. It's a company, right? Customer is who? Yeah, actual users or those are taking policies, and those are customers of Guardian. Okay, so there are two types of RPAs. One you can develop for customer, and one you can develop for the company. So those you develop for customer is called front office robots, customer facing interfaces, call center apps, service sales apps. Within the service sales apps, you can integrate. So this is one example I've given. Like you can actually present some information to the sales rep, like to save time and money. Maybe sales rep need to know a single dashboard with multiple applications integrated. So you can do that. So the second one for the company is the back office one. So right now the back office ones are more RPA are more into it rather than the front office ones. So application handling, claims processing. So this is the industry level, enterprise level. You can save some 20 to 30% of the capacity. Operational risk, minimizing the operational risk. Okay, RPA tools in market. These are the tools in market currently. Not all of them. This is not the complete list, but these are the popular ones. Automation Anywhere. Our SO fellows use this. I mean, Cognizant, right? They use Automation Anywhere. Blue Prism, Copex, Leo, Nice, Redwood, Autonomy, UiPath, Workvision mostly. Yeah, welcome to that. Yeah. Okay, so these are the tools. Okay, so there are studies done. Okay, by I'll not let you look at this because you'll not listen to what I'm saying. Okay, so there are independent survey groups are there. Like they will actually go to the market, talk to a lot of companies and people, and find out, okay, what is popular and why it is popular. What are the difficulties they are facing in a specific tool. So they do a lot of survey. Okay, based on that survey study analysis on all the RPA tools, they've come up with a matrix kind of thing. So where you will see that in the left hand side is an aspirant. Aspirants, right? Okay. Those are the starter ones. So just I'm starting with the RPA one. So towards the right, you see the challenges. Okay. The top it's optimizers and the leaders. So you can see in the top box, so those are the market leaders of RPA as per Everest Group's survey. Okay. So here you can see the indicators like star performance. Automation Anywhere is a star performer, UiPath is a star performer, and Blue Prism is also there. They follow a different approach to RPA. So this is Everest Group's survey result in terms of vision and capability and market impact. So your answer is there. And there is another one. This is done by Forrester. Again, they have followed another approach like weak to strong and weak to strong current offering and the strategy. So that one is like Automation Anywhere. Again, those three are Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, UiPath. The market presence is from the simple dot to the bigger one, star performance leader. So those three are there in both the surveys. Automation Anywhere, UiPath, and Blue Prism. And there is also another one done with the RPA developers and architects. So they know in depth about each tool So they have done a technical categorization of the tools, and they've given out of 5 what is the index, right? So what development and core functions. So if a tool has that, they have given that option. So in that UiPath is a transformer again. So because of the various analytical tools and the simplicity of you just need to drag and drop. Okay, set some properties. You just need to let the tool know that okay, this is the process, this is the input, this is the output. That's it. It will take care of it. Okay, so the ease of development is easy with UiPath Automation Anywhere and nice also. Blue Prism is failing here because Blue Prism does not have a kind of an interface. You need to write everything in Blue Prism. Blue Prism again is .NET based. You need to write everything in Blue Prism. So for example, like in macro, you would record it, right? You record some activities and replicate it, right? So that option is there in UiPath, but not in Blue Prism. That means that you need to record from the scratch, launch an application, go to this tab, type this, okay, click tab. So everything you need to write like a process tab. But in UiPath, you can just start to record and mimic how a user used to perform and click stop and save. It will actually create the steps for you, and then you need to tweak a bit inside. So that is where UiPath is winning big because of the tools which they have, which is like developer friendly. We call it. Everything is right. Yeah, UiPath trial version is there. UiPath trial version is for 3 months. You can use it. That's how I learned it actually, right? To become certified also. I'll send you those links after this session. Okay. So Automation Anywhere is again one you can, if you have ESCO folks sitting in Coimbatore, you can ask them to give a demo. That is also very nice tool. So questions? Questions? Any questions? They cannot hear you. They cannot hear you, right? Okay, right. So yeah, it has the same question of Shiva, right? Yeah, because
Prabhakar, I am not able to hear. Is there
yeah. So
any
I
problem with
will try
audio?
to replicate whatever he said. Okay, right. Okay. It is different. I mean, okay. So Edward's question was about the same, like what you asked Shiva, like how it is different from the QTPs and the monitoring tools and the test automation tools which we use, different from RPA. Those are the process RPA can do, but it's a no-no for RPA. Those are the process areas which we talked about, like QTP, quick test professional, right? So that will actually mimic what the user does and does the specific set of activity. It's an automation tool, but it's not a robotic, because that process itself cannot be qualified for a case study for an RPA. Okay, and we talked about the monitoring. Monitoring also. Monitoring can be a part of the RPA, like you were saying, right? If my server is up and running, or can be part of your one of the steps. That's it. That itself is not a qualifier again for case study. So, what is the other tool you said? Not qualified means because it's not worth implementing at RPA for those areas where we have other process. I mean, implemented already, right? we can reuse them. Like you are running, you have a script which is running in a server, which actually sends you an email, whether the server is open or not. My robo can use that for something else, for a bigger one. Like a business user logs in, before they log in, I want to ensure the server is up and running or not. You will send an email, right? I mean, production support team, you send an email, right? Like my server and all the process are up and running. So that if you are trying to automate what the business user is doing, you can include that script also as a first step of your automation, that whether all the services are running or not. So again, the service are small ones, though it performs bigger ones, but RPA is not meant for that. It's like, how do we say? QTP, what QTP does actually? Hmm.
So it keeps singing
Yeah.
and make any issue. They scan through the log,
Yeah.
check whether certain keywords are there.
Yeah.
That is the keyword, and it will send alert to the respective keyword.
Hmm.
So how are you saying
It is in the sense like case study. When we call case study, we are talking about, like you are talking, obviously talking about the back office robot. It's not a front office robot, or no interface, application interfaces are there in the background.
scheduled job?
Yeah, scheduled job, correct. It's a scheduled job. You can schedule even the same thing you can do in RPA also. Why I'm saying it's not a case study is because so why we need to prepare a case study is that I need to tell that case study, right? Right. So what you are saying is whatever you have is actually working and scanning through a log and sending an email. It is actually working, right? Your question is how different is from RPA. RPA can also do that, but RPA's feature or aim is something bigger than that. Like not just scanning through the logs and yeah, it can. Yeah. Yes. Hmm. Yes. 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 Okay. I mean, see, we need to think big. That is why I'm stopping there actually. So it can be done. Whatever is there, existing process, whether you have done in Java or a simple VBA, it can be done easily in Robo. Like scanning through I mean, pinging a server. I mean, simple ping and respond. That also you can do. But when we are talking,
Let me give you because
hmm.
for example, there are so many.
Yeah.
So start to hand over the testing.
Yeah.
There are scripts. So this way record the script and
Read and over and
give
over.
all parameterized data and
Yeah.
every day they give the kind of a nice.
Yeah. Same thing can be done. Yeah, QTP. I mean,
So is it not the bigger task? Like I'm scanning through the entire wherever there is so my transaction is
yeah.
so it's a kind of a screenshot image, right? So that this data is there or not? So that from the recording if it's not there, it will send me a
Alert.
message saying this transaction is there. At least this qualified for
It is, but again, how do I say? If you are preparing a case study and say in future Guardian has invested in say UiPath, okay, they might want to replace QTP. So whatever, yeah,
saying like they are moving towards RPA.
they are yes. Blue Prism. Blue Prism is a tool they want automation anywhere. They've already invested. UiPath also. I think there is one more Copex or something. Right? That is what do you call it? Connect Direct one. So it's a back office image processing. Yeah. Copex is already existing, but they have come up with an automation tool which actually performs whatever they are performing much in a like a scheduled robotic way. Though, so why we call it as bot is that like he was saying, right? Someone was saying like create one and replicate. One bot you can create and you can deploy it anywhere. Like scheduling also is there. So if when we are talking about when you are going to talk about UiPath, you will be familiarized because it is couple of options are so similar to Windows Scheduler. You can actually schedule a bot, what time it needs to run, what is the computer it should run, what is the process it should run, everything you can control. So yours is a case study. Yes, it is a case study. It can be implemented, but we need to think from where the success is that we need to think from the business process perspective, not from the back office perspective. Yes. QTP you can. QTP, you can save some FTP definitely, but the that's why they call it business process automation, BPAs. Right? So what we are talking about is all back office ones, which can save you some time. It can be also done in RPA, but investment what Guardian is doing for RPA is not for that. That is why I'm saying case study will not sell if you are giving that. Okay.
Insurance industry
yes.
trying to put it in the RPA.
Like I can give you our example. Like SureCode team is here, right? They are Guardian India now, right? So what they do is on daily basis, we are trying to use the Google Analytics now for that. On daily basis, they get emails from like 4 or 5 different channels. Okay, maybe from sales people, brokers, and even from the end customers also. So what they do is they actually scan through those emails. Okay, and their first job is that there are 10 people are working just for this. Scan through the emails. Move it to the allocated queues. Allocated queues is then not just the moving the email to a folder. It's not that. What they need to do is, right? They need to create in the SureCode. That's an application, right? They need to create a queue and assign that email, whatever email. They will not open it. They will not know what it is. There are some keywords. They will just look for some keywords. Again, it's the protocol given to them. Okay, they will look for those keywords and identify those keywords. Okay, if it is matching, I will move to that queue. So daily basis, they are scanning through hundreds and hundreds of emails. Okay, these second part, right? This is the first part. Second part, those queues, right? Those queues are, there are another set of 25 people working. So their job is it's their dashboard, right? If it is assigned to their queue, what I'm talking about is actually in the Salesforce, this one thing. Salesforce screen, or they have another application also. I have not looked at it. And Narani was talking about it. She was saying there is an application which they are trying to convert into Salesforce now. So these queues, right? What it will do is I will go and look for my queue. I will have some 10 items which I need to work on. Okay, I will open one. There will be again. I know, like first 10 people will not know whatever it is. Second 25 people, they will know what it means. Something. It's like they will not know everything, but they will know what it means. Okay, so a customer is wanting to take say a dental loan. Dental insurance. Okay, so they want to know basics. Okay, that's an opportunity. What they will do is they will log into Salesforce and create an opportunity for this. This is one system. This is another system. There is one more system previously. So these are parallel functions, right? So we are now talking about the third system, which is the Salesforce. From this to opportunity conversion. Opportunity conversion, we need to have a lot of inputs, right? So we talked about email coming from various, right? So one email comes from a template itself, like census template. So these are the list of employees, 1,000 employees, 1,500 employees. These are the details of them. Just give me the products which you can offer, and the rates, and the benefits, and the features, everything. They will send. Okay. So this goes into another queue. So those 25 people, right? They are constantly looking into it. There are specific people. Those are leads. Their job is to assign those queue into their team. So this is what we talked about, 3 different systems, right? Right. So this is the business process they follow. So how many people were there? About, I think 110 people were there in this team. They have implemented this RPA solution there. To use the Google Analytics first to scan the email and then categorize them. So they have not replaced all the 10 people, but they have actually reduced it to 5 FTE. Those 5 FTEs, like you were saying, right? Daily job, the QTP, they will run a QTP process and they will look for the result. That is what they are doing now. They are still manual process required. These robots. Again, I'm saying it's evolving. It's a journey, right? So they have implemented some bots there, and what it will do, it will try to perform all the manual activities those 10 people doing and allocate into a queue. There are 5 people still verifying though. They are not still trusting the robots. Right? They are not there yet. So those people still verifying it. And again, the second process is where the complexity relies on. Those 1,500 employee details from census file, we need to create opportunities. Right now, they are doing it manually, trusted. Now they have automated 3 processes out of 15 processes are there. Business process. They have automated 3 out of them, which saved some FTEs for them. Which actually kind of those 3 process areas they are looking into another area now. So they are expanding now. So which is what. So this is one example, Edward. In Guardian, it has happened, and I think when Terry was here, he was talking about clients also. If you were there in the meeting, right? So he was talking about the clients area also. He wants to do an automation now with the robots. So the important stuff is that we need to understand the processes, what they do. So we just discussed in 15 minutes what 6 months a case study of a project actually, right? So it is not easy. You know the tools, the tool. If you want to restrict yourself as a developer, you can just sit and someone like a lead give you some logic into it. If you want to grow, you need to learn the process. Even if you are a developer, if you're knowing the process, you can code better, right? If you know who's going to use it, how they are going to use it, you can code better, right? It's the same way. Okay, so this is one case study, but many case studies are there. In web, you can search for like RPA case study. You search in Google, you can get plenty. Back of it. Yes, it can be. Like I was saying, right? Rate calc team. They are getting rates from Reuters and different people. Web URL. What is it? Web service, right? Web service. You can create a simple robot which actually pings that web service and gets the data, maybe in JSON format or raw format, converts into whatever you want, like database. Simple. I mean, why I'm saying this is a simple one which need to be used for a bigger purpose. We can try our own, but it can be also implemented. We can do that. But if you see the real value, whenever they see actual people who are doing the repetitive task getting replaced, that is when they see the value of RPA. Are replaced in the sense they perform a better job, right? Okay, so I have like tried to put like what is the tool knowledge we need or the technology knowledge we need, but this is just so if you see automation anywhere requires C# knowledge. That means C++ if you know, C# if you know, you can code. Coding in the sense like how do I say? Like if you are actually getting or trying to read a CSV, if you want to trim the value. So those are the keywords, right? So those are the simple programming techniques. If you know, you can perform it. So you see, all of them are .NET and C# based. Most of them, right? UEFAST is developed in .NET itself. Okay? So Blue Prism is also .NET, and WorkFusion there is one. You can do in Java also. And like we were saying, right? You can develop a Java-based web service, deploy it, and you can call it in UEFAST with .NET, simple .NET code. those who know web services, they can easily do this. Pega, is it? Yeah, OpenSpan was the RPA. Pega bought OpenSpan. Now Pega automation is there. Yeah, Pega is similar to TIPCO, right? Now they no longer just do the, the ETL work. Now they do the RPA also. So I have another few topics. So future of RPA is whatever we talked about is all manual, repetitive tasks. Now future of computer is like we need to. I mean, how the robo is developing. It's becoming intelligent now, right? It's not no longer repetitive task. It actually need to think on its own. That is where we are going now. This is a huge area. NLP, right? Natural language process itself is a huge topic like machine learning. And knows about like we all learned the computer architecture, right? How SMPS performs, how you can actually control. So if you see how you right click and ejects the this one, the CD drone. Those are computer language, simple terms. But this is a huge area. NLP itself is a vast area. I'm sure you will search NLP in Google. Search for NLP in Google. Long time, but now they are building it on top of the software one. Unstructured data handling, we talked about it. So two vast areas like cognitive computing and machine learning. So predictive maintenance, self-healing. So we talked about how you self-heal. If I hit with an issue in an application, how you behave. Normal human being like restart the service. So that's a self-healing. This is like that. These are the service and let me try again. So those are the self-healing ones. And AI, artificial intelligence. Yeah. So to learn all this, you need to learn the basic. That's why this session is. So RPA introduction session is for that. So I'm sure this should trigger you in something bigger. I mean, aim for bigger. Learn something new. Okay, choosing the tools for okay. Okay. This is RP architect's job, right? So you are coming with maybe a problem statement or an area which you need to automate. You need to discuss with an RPA architect who knows in and about these tools, like what we talked about right earlier. You can't. That's why you can't. So all these tools has its plus and minuses. Something can be done in one tool, cannot be done in another tool. But again, Guardian, whatever is actually has bought the the license, that is where you can go. When you're doing a case study with a simple tool, this is what I'm going to do. Set that and learn about the tool plus minus and record that in the case study itself. This I can automate, this I cannot because of the tool issue. So if you ask me that question, I cannot answer now. 50%. I mean, see this market study, right? It says those three tools, right? It's present in all. The third one I did not actually give it here, but there is one more. AA, UiPath, Automation Anywhere. AA they call it. Automation Anywhere, UiPath, and Blue Prism. These three tools definitely can support about 70 to 80% of business processes. And whatever is not supporting, you always have your own Java and .NET experts to write some web services or whatever tools you have to support that. Wherever you feel that particular step is cannot be done, you just do it in Java and deploy it here. You can always do that. Okay, so future of RPA we saw. So any questions from anyone? Any clar? I think a lot of things are there running in your mind. I know. Like it was the same when I actually took it. Even now, I don't know. Like Mukut was asking, right? Even what even I know. I don't know. What even I don't know. I don't know. Right? We're still learning. Right? So learn from each other, as I said. So I'm expecting you to learn something and let's discuss it. So what do you want to do next is that we can do a session in UiPath. So I can send you after that session only. I can send you what are the, or if you have any specific. I mean, I want you to go back and spend some time in it, right? RPA in Google Web, right? What is RPA? Don't just go from this room and go back to your work and you need to. I mean, cover up this 1 hour you spent here, but this RPA should be back of your mind always. Anyone? We can use. See, I'm not saying we cannot use. See, why Edward was saying that it is different is it is different. I mean, anything you can do in RPA, like whatever you are saying, you can even do the back office automation. Simple Excel, right? 1+1 2. You can do that, but you want to do that. That is the thing. Whether you want to do it or worth doing it in this costly tool, right? This is costly. Like one license is $2,500 per year. Costly. There's no restriction of any one bot. One bot, one process. Yes. No, no. Bot. I mean, what I'm saying is the license. Bot you can implement any. Or it's like writing your program. So any number of bots you can make. Yes. I think if I show you the UiPath glimpses of UiPath, how it looks, how you can create a simple this one, I think it will make more sense. But whoever has seen this QTP, it's no new because it's similar to recording. You will see all the steps, but you can do a lot of other things as well, which I will try to show in the next few sessions. Um, so next few sessions won't be like boring like this, right? Looking at the PPT and talking. It will be more of opening the UiPath tool itself, and you can ask like which one you want. We can choose which one you want to. Who wants to continue the session for UiPath? Want to think about it. So those who didn't rise, they want to think about it. Okay. Have you come with any prerequisite now? So this is the prerequisite. In fact, this is a prerequisite to know something about what is that robotic. They call it robotic. What is that robotic? This is the prerequisite. No, no, nothing's required. But in the next session, I want you to ask more about like from your project perspective, where and all you can share your experience, and we can decide if we can go with the case study or not. Or you don't have to wait for the session. You can actually meet me anytime you want. So you can come and meet me, and we can both discuss. Like I have this scenario whether I can do this in. I mean, trust me, anything is possible in RPA. Any tools, like I was saying, right? You can't. You need to choose a tool. If you're fixed with the tool, you need to know the in and out of it, or plus and minus about it, so you can implement it easily. No, no, no. This is software robots. This is software. Yeah, correct. But I mean, all the industries like insurance, domain manufacturing. So wherever the enterprise applications are used, interfaces are used. Only IT. But maybe I don't know. The machine learnings are coming up. Maybe it can control the hardware robo also. I don't know. Okay, so I hope this session is useful. Have you signed your presence in? Okay. Thank you for joining, and thanks all for joining the call. Thank you.
Thank you.